So Kelly, we're all excited. We can't wait to talk about the final that you've been predicting throughout the last 2 weeks. We'll start by talking about the semi-final. 4-0. Did it flatter England a little bit though?
Yeah, I think if you look at the score, it wasn't as convincing as a 4-0 scoreline. I think the second goal after half time by Lucy Bronze kind of killed Sweden a little bit, but I thought the first 20 minutes Sweden probably could have gone 1 or 2-0 up, and they just weren't clinical enough in England's box, and then England grew off of that. So yeah, it was a brilliant game to watch, and so pleased for them, because that's what you set out to do at the start of the tournament, is to reach the final, and they've done it with hard work, brilliant teamwork, work ethic, and a strong belief and massive confidence in this side that we're seeing.
Is there anything, do you think, from that first half in particular that they might learn for the final?
Yeah, I think they was a little bit nervous to begin with. I think Mary Earps had a save to make with her feet after 23 seconds. So it was a little bit too open at the back so early. So try to keep it tighter in those early 10 minutes or so at the start of a game when they're a bit nervy. So yeah, going into the Germany game, it's going to be a big occasion. 90 odd thousand there supporting them. Majority are going to be England fans. So it's about keeping it tight, but sticking to your same morals and your same game plans that we've seen before, on the front foot, pressing high up, keeping the team higher up, all the units connected. And yeah, take that into the next game, and hopefully they'll do well.
Now, you mentioned it there, and understandably, England scored 4 goals. They've scored an incredible amount of goals, more than 100 goals since Serena Wiegman took over less than a year ago. How much credit does Mary Earps deserve for a performance in that semi-final, and really right the way through at key moments for England?
Yeah, there's been moments in a lot of the group games where she hasn't had a lot to do. So it's key that she's stayed concentrated and focused and kept herself in the game for those moments where she needed to step up big in the Sweden game. And that's what you want from your number one, to stay on it, keep herself involved, because it is hard for keepers when you're not involved for long periods of the game. But that's credit to her and her professionalism, that she's come up big for England when they've needed her.
On to the final then, and it's exciting just to talk about. It's England-Germany at a sold-out Wembley. We come on to the match itself in a moment, but could you have imagined that there'd be 90,000 people watching England against Germany in the final of the Women's Euros, even a few years ago, never mind when you first started playing football, or football for England even? Yeah,
no, this is a dream come true for the way the game has developed, especially over the last five or 6 years. There's a lot more interest in the women's game now. And I think obviously the TV deals that we've got now in the WSL has helped with raising the profile, getting new fans on board. And obviously the BBC have done brilliant covering all the Euro games. So it gives the viewers a taste of every group game, get to know every European side that's in this tournament. And obviously it's gained a whole new fan base. I think 11.3 million people tuned in to watch England beat Sweden. So, I mean, that's just crazy figures. And then, like you said, a sold out Wembley Stadium. This is what these girls have been dreaming of. They're pretty much their whole career. And Germany, for me, they've won it 8 times. So they're a force to be reckoned with. I played in the 2009 final out in Finland, and we were in the game for about 60 minutes, and then the German dominance just took over, and we just crumbled, and it was a 6-2 game. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets, is that we were in it for so long but just fell away. But Germany don't have that fear factor about them anymore. A lot of other nations have caught up to Germany. So yeah, it's going to be an excellent tie. I'm praying it's going to be a first ever win for England in a European Championships.
Can they do it? And if they can, how do they do it?
I know I've said it before, but just keep playing the way that they have been. Everything that they're doing in the final third, scoring goals, being clinical, being good, solid defensively. It's going to be a tough game for them in terms of managing Pop. she's scored 6 goals, and 4 of those goals have been with her head. So anything coming in from the width, the crosses, Millie Bright and Leah Williamson have to be on it and know where she is at every given moment, because she's lethal in the air. She's, as soon as that ball's delivered, she knows where the ball's going, and she makes herself in that place at the right time with her aggressive running, and she's so good in the air. So yeah, that's going to be one of England's main threats, is crosses coming in from Huth. They've got a real good connection, her and Pop. And obviously trying to get at the German defence. They've been very solid this whole tournament, only conceding 1 goal. So it's going to be tough for England to break them down, but with their quick pass movements in that final third player running, try and shift the German defence. That's how they're going to try and break them down.
How do we think it might go then? Because it's 2 teams that I think people would be beyond dispute that have been the 2 best teams in the tournament, but to have only conceded 2 goals between them, it doesn't feel like it's going to be that easy for either team to score. Yeah,
it was probably going to be a stalemate, isn't it? 0-0 game, and to probably go to penalties, knowing the history that England and Germany have. But yeah, I think both teams have done extremely well to get here with their creative attacking play, flair, brilliant moments of individual brilliance by both sides. I just think it's a final. You've got nothing to lose. You have to go. You're not going to sit back. No team. I don't think any German or England team is going to sit back and wait for it to happen. They've got to take it by the scruff of the neck and just go for it, like they have the whole tournament. The tactics for both sides aren't going to be sit back, let them come on to you. They just attack each other. Let's have a real good game and really wow the nation.
So if we're looking from the German perspective, it's kind of that connection between Huth and Pop, which, I mean, it's astonishing to think that Pop wasn't a starter for Germany at the beginning of the tournament, and especially Millie Bright stopping Pop being able to be so dominant in the air. From an England perspective, you highlighted the transitions in the semi-final, and it really did prove to be the case. England was so dangerous when they could win the ball back and counter-attack. Where do you think they're going to be able to hurt Germany in the final?
I think possession is going to be key. Kira Walsh had an outstanding game against Sweden. She really tried to boss it in the midfield with her passing rage and composure. And that ball that she played through to Fran Kirby, she looked to go one way, reversed it, and then played a clinical pass through. So we need passes like that, her creativity on the ball. Fran Kirby's another key player. Get her on the ball in the final third. She's grown in this tournament. She just, when she gets on the ball, she sees pictures that other players don't see, and can make passes that other players can't make. So they're 2 key players in the centre of the park, along with Ellen White, her pressing, trying to ruffle the German defence and set the presses. A lot of the press comes from her energy. And then obviously super sub Russo, we expect to see her at some point in the game. So yeah, they've got a lot of weapons in this England side, and they're going to be fresh and ready and hungry for it.
I posed this question the other day to somebody else, that Alessia Russo, can you be the player of the tournament having never started any of the matches? So on Alessia Russo, but also if you were having to put your vote in now for the player of the tournament, who would you be voting for?
I think it's got to be Pop or Mead. Yes, Russo's up there. I don't know if it's ever been given to a player that's not started games, but she's certainly a player to be talked about. The impact that she's had has been second to none. But me being a striker, I've got to give a lot of praise to the strikers. To score 6 goals in the tournament is unreal. You've really, led your team and been that go-to person in those given moments. So it's going to be a Beth Mead Pop fight, a battle on Sunday to see who will get the golden boot. So I think Beth Mead's got 5 assists too, so she will nudge it if neither of them score, because she'll get it on the assists too. But from a striker's point of view, I think going into this tournament, both of them are going to want to score in this final to take that golden boot away from either one of them.
And I know this would be hard because you can't separate the fact that you'll be rooting for the England win. How do you see it ending after 90 minutes, and overall, how do you see it ending?
I hope it doesn't go to penalties. Yeah, I think it's such a hard game to call because I've been so confident with England, but this Germany side, they mean business. They're very well organised. They defend from the front really well. They get the team high up. They get pressing in the right areas. If England can play through that press with ease through Kira Walsh, especially the anchor there that sees everything before any other player does, if they can play through that and get it out to the widths, the battles for me are on the width with Mead and Hemp. But I want to go 1-0 England, but it's going to be very close.
And if it does go to penalties, then I guess with Mary Earps in the form that she is, then England couldn't be hoping for a better goalkeeper in those circumstances.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely sure that they've been practicing penalties, probably while they're in camp from the whole tournament. I'm sure Serena knows her strongest penalty takers. I'm sure they've had discussions on who wants to take them if they're on the pitch. So she's going to have a plan. She's not somebody that's just going to write it down come final whistle. She's prepped for this. She's experienced. So yeah, Mary Earps, if it goes to penalties, is in form. She's confident. And that's what you need. That's all you can ask for in your goalkeeper back there.
Let's take the 1-0 though, a bit easier, isn't it?
I know. I can't wait. Can't wait to watch. I'll be there cheering them on.